Coños. All right, this is where you shake your ass, buddy.
Yeah.
Podcast number 30. He's like, I ain't dancing. Wait till the end. We'll get you dancing towards the end. Today, guys, podcast 30. We got a very special guest today, somebody that I've been waiting impatiently to have on my podcast just because he's got a lot of information. And he's actually a big part of my history, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But before we get into that, I want to thank today's sponsor, Diamond Wax. Since 1966, Diamond Wax has been a foundational part of their community. Centrally located minutes from downtown at 407 William Avenue. Recognized by the Better Business Bureau, Diamond Wax is a one-stop shop for all your cleaning and sanitation supplies. The products are industrial commercial strength, and they are equipped to handle the needs of all types of businesses as well as residential. Some of the products they sell: sanitizer, toilet paper, paper towels, disinfectant, and even vacuums, amongst a large list of others. Call Roth or Dan 204-943-3455 to inquire about product availability and make arrangements for pickup or delivery. So if you need a vacuum, you can talk to them.
We will need a new vacuum.
We will.
They actually provide us with our sanitizing spray, so they brought in this special COVID spray as soon as this happened, and they actually gave us all of our the hand stuff, right?
I feel like with this product line, they're probably billionaires.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you can get toilet paper, right?
That's right.
So anyways, let's get into today's guest. Let me do your intro, Jay, for you. Today's guest started his restaurant career as a bartender at the Granite Curling Club. His next job, or back in 2004, he was a bar back at the Red Cactus, and then boom, 2 years later, he owned the place.
Wow.
That's got to say a lot. He has owned the Greenroom, Opera, 441 Main Street, and OV, or I guess it's just 441 Main, and the OV Club. Currently has an ownership stake in the Merchant's Kitchen and both Finn McHugh's. McCool's.
Yes.
Oh, why do I have that one now?
McCool.
Finn McCool's. His favorite place is at his family cabin, Lake of the Woods, with his wife Erin and his dog Lila.
Yep.
He is an ambassador for our city, but loves to travel and bases his travel destination around food. Everybody, today's guest is the infamous Jay Kilgore. Woo! I love it. Here's a little fun fact for you. So when I asked him to do the intro, I said, send me 5 personal, 5 professional.
Yeah.
And one of the points was he served me endless amounts of Smirnoff ice with grenadine in it. And I just thought to myself, how the hell did he even remember that? I didn't even remember. It's like you invented that drink for him.
Was it in a glass, or would he just drink it out of the bottle?
Right out of the bottle. We had to get a little top of the grenadine, use one of those ketchup bottles almost. So
Yeah.
we had to come to a point just so we could get the grenadine drops inside the
Oh,
Smirnoff
okay.
ice.
I used to eat the straight cherries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cherries are great.
You know, they have the bowl of cherries. Every
of
time I
course.
go to the bar, I'd give the bartender $100, and I said, give me whatever I can get for this all night. My
Work out your own
buddy
shit.
and I, that's how we would do
Yeah.
it. Figure it out. This is what you're getting. Give me a bowl of cherries. And I remember one time I got so sloshed that when I went back to my buddy's place, cherries were
Puked up the cherries.
Well, I didn't puke them up. They were just, I guess I put the cup in my thing. I was like, I'm taking these home. You know, I can't even see.
Bastable was the king of that. He was just $100 here, work it out.
Oh, yeah? That was a thing?
Yeah.
Jeez, I should have done that. I probably could have budgeted a
Oh,
lot
you
better.
save so much more money.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
doubt. So, great story. 2004, you started as a bar back. 2006, you ended up owning the Red Cactus.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Red Cactus? This is like the biggest part of my party days. The Red Cactus, baby.
Where was the Red Cactus? I
Corden.
remember.
Corden
Yeah,
Avenue.
okay. So on Corden, on the other side of
So
Greenroom.
there's Saffron's on the cordon,
Yeah.
or on the corner,
Yeah.
and then Red Cactus was next door, and then we
Yeah.
also owned Chivita Restaurant, which was next door to that. So so we had Cactus and Chivita side by side.
One of the coolest parts was that patio in the back.
Yeah.
This hidden little gem.
It was a smaller one, right? But
Yeah.
it was beautiful.
Me, Hector, and Bolin built that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember always feeling like I was in a different city, like a real bougie city somewhere in this little patio that nobody knew about, but everybody knew about it, you know? So tell us the story. How did you become I always loved this. One of the things that I've always wanted to do was to be the guy that got a job at McDonald's, and then 6 months later, I own the franchise. Like, I always thought that's a great way to do it. So tell us your story. 2004, you're a bar back.
Yeah.
How did you end up owning it 2 years later?
I worked my way up there. I was bar backing. I loved it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was in the middle of an arts degree that really doesn't get you a whole. Doesn't get you that far. I was working for Habitat for Humanity in Winnipeg at the time, as well as going to school, and then so I basically worked, and that's all I did. I had no time other than work in school. I saved up quite a bit, and well, you remember Freya, who
Yep.
owned it at the time I
Yep.
worked there, and Freya and her husband were starting a family, so it wasn't going to be conducive to running a restaurant and a bar, especially the way the bar was taking off at the time.
Yeah.
She didn't want to do the nights. She could do them, and she did them well, but she just didn't want to at
Yeah.
that point in her life. So, she looked to the people that were managing the place, which was myself, and then the couple that ran the restaurant, and I was lucky that I had a pretty still do have a very supportive father, and he charged me a little bit more interest than the bank would have just to teach me a lesson, but
Nice.
he lent me the money to purchase it because I knew that I knew we were on the upturn, and
Big time.
and
Big time.
it was more and more people were starting to know about it, so I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to work as hard as I had for the last 2 years for somebody else to just come and buy it.
Yeah.
So we were able to do it, and it was great.
That's great. So you took advantage of an opportunity.
Yeah.
And you were ready for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was ready for it, but I took advantage of it.
Ready enough, I guess. Eh?
yeah.
I just remember that place. It had a big garage door. So if you can picture your garage, a giant door that was sometimes open, sometimes not. The main floor held maybe 25, 30
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, that would be a stretch. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it held about 60 people, but legally. And then you go upstairs into the back where you had pool tables and more seating there, and then you had a split door that took you to the next restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That's crazy. That was awesome. Smallest little place, but man, was it packed constantly.
Yeah.
Just shoulder to shoulder.
Lineups down the block. I'm still in people's phones as Cactus J.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like people will text.
Oh
me
yeah, everybody knows you as that.
People text me on my birthday and they'll take a screenshot of the contact and they'll be like, "Yeah, you're still in as Cactus J." I love it.
Yeah.
I think if you're probably 30 to 45 right now, it played a large role in like yours and your friend's life.
Absolutely.
In Winnipeg, honestly, yeah.
It's actually a great question. Maybe we should ask the audience: is where did you hang out on Corden back in the day? I guess we can say anytime when you were a big because everybody was a Corden person at one point.
Yeah.
If there was a place to go. So you've now transitioned over into Finn McCool's. Took over 2 franchises, one at a time.
Yeah, we took 2017. Myself and my 2 business partners, we built the Grant Park location, and
I remember that.
And then last year, the Regent location shut down. It was a choice by the brand and the owner, the franchisee at the time. And then we'd been talking to the brand about opening it back up, and eventually came to a deal, and we reopened the Regent location November of 2019. So just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too long.
Yeah.
So why that brand? Why did you go with that restaurant as opposed to anything else?
My 2 business partners, they were doing that like they'd made the choice.
Okay.
So I was actually, as you know, I was working with my dad's family company, and I'd kind of gotten out of the industry, and they approached me, said they wanted to do this, and I kind of got pulled back. The insurance 9 to 5 is, although it's a great and necessary industry, it wasn't, I didn't love it the way I do hospitality. So it was a really good opportunity, and I didn't know a whole lot about the brand, but I researched it, and I'd done everything independent. I was a big, independent guy, local, and once I researched franchising a bit more, and we're local. It's the only difference is we have a bit better of a support package. But it's a brand that I can be proud of. I love pubs. That's most of what I did, and the food's good, made from scratch. So it was a good fit for me, and I fit the brand as well as the brand fits me.
Yeah.
It was a good choice.
So having owned private businesses and now a franchise, do you have an opinion one way or another? Which one's better? Which one's worse?
There's pros and cons to both. The franchises, like I said, especially now, the support we receive is I'm not talking financially, but just having different departments that we can rely on and ask questions to. So there's layers of support there that I wish I had in the past, which I haven't. But then there's also I can't do whatever I want.
Right.
So it's a trade-off, but it's a good one.
Yeah. How about you, RJ? When you had to G-brand from Fit Body and took it back down to Fit Club, which one do you prefer?
I always prefer to do it on our own. Like I have coaching. I've invested thousands of dollars in coaching, and so that's basically what got me to where I am now, is the will to get coaching and then the will to implement it. And we talked about this before, and I think that if you want a playbook handed to you, and maybe some updates. Like right now, a franchise would be somebody that would help give you some guidance. And for a lot of people that really don't have the time, or they don't want to put the effort into learning how to do this themselves, then I think that the franchise is probably the best way to do it. So if you're not investing in coaching and you're trying to do it on your own, then I think that people are going to fail. But if you invest either in a franchise where they're going to give you the coaching, or you invest in a coach. Do you have a business coach? Have you ever had one?
No, I haven't actually.
I find that's not a thing in Winnipeg. It's very, very shocking to me. I talk to a lot of gym owners. I talk to a lot of business owners. None of them have ever had a coach.
You know what I would say? I do now, but the coach is in the form of our regional manager.
So like that's what the franchises would provide for you. So which way? It just depends on the individual. If you know me, if you've ever worked with me, it's I do things a certain way, and I'll go out and find out how to do it, and then I work with my team to get that done. Some people, they want to be told like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Some people can do both, right? So you're probably a both kind of guy, where you figure out your own stuff and you get stuff from them.
Definitely, and I find that because the Finns brand fits so well with who I am, that now I've built trust with the brand, and I have the longest leash out of any franchisee. And when they want to try stuff out, or when I have an idea, it usually is like, run with it. Let's see how it plays out, and then we'll build around it.
Yeah. So they're receptive to your ideas?
Very. I'm very lucky with, and like I said, I built a trust there first. There was the first year of Burger Week, I was told I couldn't do it, and
really?
I did it anyway. And then I got an award at the
typical, not a franchiser right there.
I got an award at the national conference for doing it.
Yeah.
So there's been I've just built the trust, and so now they're kind of like, as long as it makes sense somewhat, they're like, okay, run with it, Jay, let us know.
And I think that goes for a lot of employees too, right? Like, you're not an employee, but you're a franchisee, so there's still somebody above you, and instead of fighting your employer and looking at everything that's wrong, figure out a way that you can contribute to make it right, versus like, I'm not doing this, and I'm better than you, I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like, this is a battle that I've had with people in the past, is, you know, there's something wrong that they don't want to bring to me, and then they just, like,
I'm on the franchisee committee for across the country, so I generally have decision making abilities and stuff like that, and so the first little while I didn't feel good about some of the way the brand was going or certain things, and now instead of sitting back, I just got involved, and now I changed that. So
yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he's a franchise owner as well, and the first year it was a straight battle. I remember talking with him, and he's like, I'm gonna sell it, and I'm getting out of this franchise sucks, like, you know, that was the conversation. And I bumped into him recently, and he's like, you know what, man, he's like, I had two options. I can either continue to fight them, be angry all the time, and just never grow, or I could work with them and then bring value. And he's like, my hopes is one day to help them with their marketing and this and that, and then eventually, you know, be a bigger part of the franchise itself. So I think most people can take that in their life, and instead of complaining and focusing on what's wrong, just boom, pick it up and do something right.
I want to take it back a little bit.
Sure.
So your history, you owned a lot of nightclubs. This is at the same time that I had Whiskey Dick's, so it's always intriguing to talk to a fellow nightclub owner or bar owner just about some experiences. I can tell you now that after having Whiskey Dick's, I would never, ever get into the booze game again. It's just, I mean, you know all the challenges that are involved with that. You got any good stories from all of your nightclubs?
I have lots.
Give us one or two, or just give us one that might stand out for you. Maybe you met a celebrity, or the greatest party you ever had, or something like that. And which club was it at the time? Because you've had several.
Yeah, so I would say that the Greenroom was kind of I think Whiskey Dick's and Greenroom, the height of Whiskey Dick's came just before the height of Greenroom. If that's fair, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think.
Totally fair, yep.
And so I think
you took all our business. We hated you for a minute there.
So there was lots, honestly, but one of the best ones was there's a couple, but Alexander Ovechkin there one night. So
just he's an NHL player from the Washington Capitals.
So the Capitals played the Jets, and we heard that he was going to be coming down because there was a Jets player at the time that had played on the Capitals. I can't remember his name, but so he was bringing down a bunch of the Capitals, and we knew that Ovechkin was coming. So somehow Ovechkin had been given a Land Rover to drive while he was in Winnipeg for the 8 hours I guess he was probably here.
Yeah.
And so he drives up, and right in front of Greenroom was there's a fire route because of the fire hall, so there's no parking on that side of the street. So he pulls up right in front of the line, parks the Land Rover right in the front at the front door, which is it's a fire lane, so he can't. He tosses the keys to the bouncer, and the bouncer's like, "You can't leave a car there," and he just kind of shrugs and walks in.
Yeah.
And then so the bouncers are radioing upstairs. They're like, "Well, I don't know what to do with Ovechkin's car," and we're like, "Well, do you have the keys?" And he's like, "Yeah, we have the keys." So I was like, "Well, move it."
Yeah.
And no one wanted to touch it, so me and Alexander Semin, who played for the Capitals at the time, went down to the Land Rover, and I parked it in the parking lot that was it was Jekyll and Hyde's now, or I think it was, I can't remember what it was called back then, but just the mayhem. We had to pull almost all the security off the door and almost build a square around Ovechkin, and I felt bad for the guy because I asked some of the other players, I was like, "Is this regular for him?" And this is like, no matter where he goes in North America, this is the
really
norm. This is the norm for him. Yeah. So it was that was just one of the standout like wow, we were just at the height of his career. We're just hanging out with Alexander Ovechkin because we were the place to go in Winnipeg that night.
Yeah.
And it was that was amazing. We had Diplo play in our nightclub too, which is kind of unheard of for a room that size.
Okay.
He did a show in Winnipeg. And we got him for next to nothing because he just wanted to do an after party.
Diplo for our audience.
Yeah.
Our 40+
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
Who is this Diplo?
He's a EDM DJ. Probably at the time was one of the biggest in the world. He was the headliner at it was called Full Flex Express, I think, and might have been at the stadium. And then we didn't actually sell tickets to that show. The owners just split up the tickets, and we gave them out. And yeah, it was the hardest ticket to get in Winnipeg that day, and or probably that summer. And it was. He doesn't play in a 200-person room. It just doesn't happen. So
awesome.
Lots of cool stuff like that.
Do you guys remember American Pie?
Yep.
Do you remember Stifler?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was his what's his real name? Sean something.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyways, and he was also in the movie Goon, which was a
Yep.
hockey fighting movie.
Yeah.
So when I had Whiskey Dicks, he came in just as a quick similar story. And it's amazing how movie star, hockey stars, celebrities get anything that they want, and everybody wants to know them. Same thing. He came rolling in. We took all the security, literally 80% of them, built a human wall around the guy so he could sit there with his brother from Minneapolis. And I remember he had one request. It was to get this local girl in to the club. And Whiskey Dicks back then was packed. There was hundreds of people, and I had to go and figure out who this girl was because he couldn't leave. He didn't have a picture of her, just met her in Winnipeg, but had to get her in. So I remember just based off of just him giving me a description, I went and found this girl. It took me about an hour and a half, but I finally got her in, plopped her down, and they just sat there, the two of them. The brother ended up leaving, and everybody just stared at them. I just said, this is almost surreal. You know what I mean? Like, why are you so important? Like, it's crazy. It's so crazy to me. But, yeah, we had that same kind of thing.
My favorite part about Whiskey Dicks was that wild card that you and Wade gave me.
Yeah. The metal one.
Yeah, I wouldn't even break stride. It was great.
It's like the Black American Express.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sean William Scott.
It's Sean
yeah.
Williams guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a super cool guy, too.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk to you about you're very active on social media, and one of the things that you've been talking about is third-party delivery, and that it's not that it's a bad thing, but it's not necessarily great either at the same time.
Yeah.
You want to share with us your opinions on that, and you can name names if you like. Go ahead.
So there's definitely a place for third-party delivery, and it's been for restaurants, it's probably been a necessary evil for the last little while, the way we look at it. It's all about consumers, which is fantastic because our industry is all about consumers. But at the same time, most people don't realize how much these, we call them aggregators, are taking from a restaurant. You know, you see that you paid for your meal, you've paid your delivery fee, you've tipped the driver, and you can feel good about that. And lots of people think that just the delivery fee is what's going to skip. I shouldn't just say skip. Skip is the big one, so that's why they get named all the time.
Right.
I'm talking about Skip, Uber Eats, DoorDash in Winnipeg.
Okay.
So most of them are taking anywhere between 18 to 30% from the restaurant on top of all the fees that the consumer has paid. So it's like a banking fee when you're paying an exorbitant fee withdrawing cash. You're getting hit on the back end. through your bank. You're paying the fee up front as well.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same thing with Skip the Dishes. For that quick convenience, you're paying, way more than you should.
Right.
And instead of you covering both fees, the restaurant's covering the other one for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy because from what I heard, there isn't much margins in restaurants. And so if they're cutting off anywhere from 18 to 30%.
A good restaurant usually runs on I would say 11% profit margin.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That low?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's just got to be straight volume then. You got to be busy.
It's volume.
The gym is the same.
Yeah.
The gym is the same. Gym and restaurants have the exact same profit. If you're doing well in the gym business, you're plus 10%.
Yeah.
But the average gym owner is making 10%. So when people think that us gym owners are living high and working out all day, it's a different story.
It's a volume play, and that was why we jumped at the opportunity to open our second location in Winnipeg, because a lot of our costs get spread out, between the two.
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, I'm a big proponent of Skip. I was before. It was the way I looked at it for my business it was incremental business. It was because they're the highest volume aggregator. I'm hitting people looking at their phone and not knowing anything about me or what I do or Finn McCool's, looking at the menu, being like, hey, I'll try that place. And I'm confident enough in our food that they're going to try it, they're going to like it, and then it's going to be, they're either going to order it again on that platform or they're going to come and try the restaurant.
Yeah.
So when everything's running normal, I look at any money I might lose through Skip as marketing money to me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's reaching a network of people at a volume that I couldn't do without using that. But the problem is right now with COVID and the way the restaurant industry is right now, people that would normally come to my restaurant and the ones that I rely on to offset the charges I pay with Skip are now looking at that app and ordering through that rather than picking up. And so that's taking, I'm pre-COVID, I'm paying the cooks anyway, I'm paying the lease, I'm paying every other expense. The only extra expense for Skip is the food cost and, the packaging.
Yeah.
So it's worth it to me to provide that to people that I wouldn't reach.
Do you feel that they, being in the times that we're in, maybe they could make a accommodation? Like what's the magic number? What's a number that you feel good about doing and promoting it and saying nice things and where you make a little bit of money?
I'd be really comfortable at 15%.
So knocking it in half, basically.
Yeah, knocking it in half for a lot of places. In between 15 to 20, that would be a lot more reasonable.
Yeah.
I'd be able to stomach that. At least it's meeting us halfway. It's helping us when times are tough.
And do you communicate with them?
See, because we talked about franchising, I don't have a direct access to Skip. I have a direct access to our Skip representative through the brand that I'm a part of.
Okay.
But because of my social media in Winnipeg, and I guess what I've done over the years and built a following, I now do have a direct access to them because we talked about my post before we started this. I posted on Facebook, and I actually was a couple people from Skip reached out because Skip is great for Winnipeg.
Yep.
Like Skip, they have 3,000 employees in Winnipeg.
You bet.
We shouldn't turn a blind eye to that. They do very good things, but the same day that they announced that they're giving back to restaurants, their 30-day support for my restaurant when COVID started ended. So I actually went up a couple percentage points, and they're talking about how they're giving back, but they're I guess they are giving back, but the way I look at it is they're giving back money that shouldn't have been theirs in the first place.
Right. Understood. So I guess the question that I have in further to that is, so Skip the Dishes, you have Uber and DoorDash.
Yeah.
And you were telling me off camera that it's kind of one of those things where you got to go with Skip because they're just so well known, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But so and are you connected to those three?
Yeah.
You are, right?
We have all three of those at both of my restaurants.
So a simple message would be to just maybe avoid Skip for right now, maybe go to DoorDash or does that help you?
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
The most restaurant-friendly of the aggregators that I have for me, and I can't speak to other people's contracts because contracts are different for each
I
restaurant,
see. Okay.
is DoorDash. So the most restaurant-friendly third-party delivery for Finn McCool's is DoorDash.
Got it.
And I don't think it's right to shame people either that are using these. Like
I
we
agree.
already said before, it's a convenience thing. If you've got 2 kids at home and you're a single parent and you can't leave the house to pick up, that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
But if you're ordering through this to really support a local restaurant, and not just mine, but any local restaurant, especially the independent ones, because cards on the table, I probably have a little bit less of a rate that I pay than a local independent restaurant just because of the volume that our brand does across the country. if you can take the 15 minutes to pick it up, and it's funny because we have like a lot of people, like friends of mine will walk in and I'll be like, you must have won the paper, rock, scissors tonight between you and your spouse to get away from the kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, yep, absolutely. I couldn't wait to pick up.
Yeah.
Like that's my half hour of solitude. So if you're able to do that, you should.
So the underlying message is just get out there and drive and pick it up.
Yeah.
That's the best way to support your local restaurant.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And I think a lot of people don't so when they see businesses, they think, hey, businesses are okay, right? Just the other day, Trudeau announced that landlords are to charge 75% less rent, right?
Yeah.
All this and that.
Well, he announced that landlords could partake in that
Right.
if they decide.
If they decide, right. And so that's not a guaranteed thing,
No.
number one. Number two is they say, well, if you've got your employees, that the government's going to cover 75% of the wages. I don't know about you, but I think today we're able to apply for that.
Yes.
So in the meantime, the past 6 weeks, we've had to front all that money.
Absolutely.
So we've had to front rent.
And I've heard we don't see that till July as well.
Yeah, so we're not getting any of these money. And then they're like, go get this, get the $40,000 loan, right? And like, okay. So I got the 40, but it's like, okay, that's loaned money.
Yeah. It's
right?
just postponing the problem.
Yeah, you're
But
just
like,
exactly. And you get 25%. So what?
Yeah.
Like that's still money that I've got to pay back.
In a way, I commend the federal government and like getting the money into people's hands immediately, which is what people needed in order to, that probably eased a lot of mental health issues and things like that, and stress. Just
big time.
Just to get by until we see exactly how long this is going to
Yeah.
go. But at the same time, like everyone, like people have like messaged me and been like, "Wow, it's great you guys are staying so busy," and I'm really good at making it look busy on social media.
Yeah.
Rick knows as well as anyone. Like, if you have an empty nightclub and you want to make it look busy, there's a way to do that.
Oh, of
right?
course,
You
yeah.
remember that?
Angles.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm using the tool, literally the one tool that I have right now because I can't pay for any marketing.
Yeah.
Is my social media and just the following I've built up over the last little while. And so, we're just it's some of it's smoke and mirrors, but also some of it is like there's been some really real moments on my social media, and it's like where those first couple of weeks I sat down with my management team and I said, I was like, if we don't need to do this, we can close. This is not going to be fun. It's going to be like some of us I probably worked 90 hours a week the first 3 weeks. And my head chef did as well. Most of my salaried managers are putting in minimum of 60 a week. But we all decided to do it together because it was better than everyone being late, myself included, being laid off. So it's not fun, but it's what we're doing this so that we have a place for all of our employees to come back to. We're doing this so that to be honest, I don't think I'd be able to sit at home. I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah.
I'd have to because
it's a hard time turning
that's
it
the right
off.
thing to do right now.
Yeah.
But it would be, it would just like, it's out of necessity right now. So.
Yeah. I feel like this is a good team building opportunity. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Look at it that way.
I've never been more. I'm always proud of my staff. I love my staff. They're like family to me. I've never been able to like be more reassured that I had the right people alongside me the whole time.
Well, there you go. So that's a great positive thing to take out of it, right? So moving forward, you know who your soldiers are and where your loyalty is.
I always say, are they going to ride with you in the limo, and at the same time, are they going to be able to ride with you in a bus?
Yep.
Right, and those are the people
We're
that
on the bus right
Kind
now,
of-
man.
kind of
everybody's on the bus right now, right? And this is a good time for people to really step up and just get out of your comfort zone and just like, how can I help you, right? Because guys like us, we can't really pay you. Right, but if you're not doing anything, how can you help? You just said it the other day. Earlier.
I have some front of house staff that we've hired back of house because that's more skilled labor that I need right now. Like I can't cook, I can't do what they do.
Yeah,
but they can take an order to the door, and take payment for it. So I tried to do what they did for a couple of weeks. I was in the kitchen a lot, but now we've hired back the skilled guys, but a lot of our 3 or 4 of our front of house staff have just come in busy meal periods, and they're volunteering, which is amazing.
Nice.
And they just said, they're like, we see how hard you're working, and we know it's just, we want to come back to this place, so we're willing to put in these volunteer hours to answer phones and work through. When you've got 3 tablets going off with orders and phones ringing and you're by yourself, there's no more helpless feeling.
Yeah. But also a great problem to probably have right now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
For sure. You mentioned off camera that your wife, Erin, she is a medical professional.
She's an epidemiologist.
Epidemiologist. And she actually had a good take on the progress of this.
Yeah.
I'd like you to share that if you don't mind.
Well, yeah. It's not exactly her take, but it's just we were talking about, how long this might last. And it's going to... I also believe that it's just going to depend on people's tolerance to risk. And we've seen people's tolerance go up the longer this has lasted, and it's only going to keep going like that, which I guess for businesses is good, but at the same time, I'm not sure how I feel about it, because the more, like just this weekend with the weather, I've seen people out and about like crazy, which is what, she had told me would probably happen, because people they're going to get antsy, they're going to care less about, putting themselves at risk. And the longer that goes on, quite frankly, it keeps my business closed. If we've done really well and we need to keep the curve, or keep flattening the curve, and I'm just concerned that we're going to spike again with people's tolerance to risk going up exponentially.
I agree somewhat with you, but in the same sense, I feel like it's time to move forward. I feel like, my estimation was May long, sort of, you can't cancel summer on people. They're going out, you know what I mean, as much as you'd like to. And I feel, and I've noticed in the last 2 weeks, like if you watch the news, you see pictures of a closed intersection, not a car anywhere. You see the airport with not a single person. But when you go out and look in regular society, everybody's moving fast with their head down in their phones. No one seems overly concerned. Some people are driving around with masks, more probably just to kind of feel like you're part of this thing. I don't feel like we're at the point, like you said, the tolerance for risk. I feel like everybody has accepted it, and they're like, screw it, we got to live our life. You know what I mean?
So I don't disagree with you there, but I feel that if it has to be none of this middle ground. So if we're gonna be, okay with it, and this is our new norm, then we can't have businesses closed and people losing their livelihood. Right. So that's why I think until the decision is made, or Saskatchewan released the 5-step process, until we get to the end of that 5-step process, or we do something similar in Manitoba and get to the end of that, everyone has to stay home. Yeah. And that's the way it has to be, because until it's decided that we flip the switch on it, we're just hurting each other. Yeah.
No. And I think that's a great point. And I don't know, man. My standpoint's a little bit different now. Like, I think that we either do it, Rick, or this is just going to get prolonged, and you want to get back to work, man. You want to open up your business. So if everybody's going out and doing walks and going to their lakes, right? Like, I've seen people getting back from the lakes. I've seen this one guy training clients out in his front yard. And I'm like, dude, like, it's like, just slow down, guys. This is not a vacation, and just take your time. Like, this is an opportunity, and just do other things, right? I know summer's going to come and everybody's going to want to screw off to their lake, but you made a good point. So what did you say about that when they're going over to Ontario?
Well, yeah, I'm cottage country is my life. Like, we have a cabin in northwestern Ontario that is year round. Like, we were able to go 4 seasons. We love it out there. Our family loves it out there. It's literally my favorite place on the planet. And I won't be going until these restrictions are lifted. Non-essential travel is something that we don't need to go for a boat ride and stuff like that. We don't need to be especially northwestern Ontario, the amount of reserves out there, things like that. Like, if this gets exposed to those populations because we just couldn't stay at home for a little bit, or because we really needed to get to our lake, we needed to get our boat in the water, like that stuff's not essential. So going to your cabin is non-essential travel, and the longer that goes on, the longer my business stays closed. And that's the reality for me. And then, to get morbid about it, if you expose those populations, even just the town of Kenora, like, we have a responsibility to stay away from there. They don't have the hospital that can take. If it runs rapid through there, that's going to be a death sentence to a lot of people, and we need to. That should weigh heavily on people, and it doesn't look like it is.
Yeah. The one thing about. Well, so with people walking around, right? The other day, we're driving down a busy street, and this woman, like, she's on her bikes with her kids. Get out. I get it. Get out. But then you still have to be safe by being safe, right? Like, there was a couple people walking on the sidewalk. So this woman decides, and we're turning into a merge lane, right? She decides to take her kids off road on oncoming traffic to stay safe by social distancing from the people walking. I'm like, I look at her and I go like this, and she goes, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, stay on the road, go around them or something. Don't do anything crazy, guys. Like, if you go within 3 feet of them, it's not that big of a deal. Jumping onto live oncoming traffic is a huge risk, right? So if you got to get out and you're still focusing on this social distancing, don't make it super awkward by doing something super abnormal. Like, go by, hold your breath, or cover your face, or wear a mask or something.
Yeah.
Like, wear your PPEs. Wear your gloves if you're super concerned. Go get yourself a mask or whatever. And if you got to be out, then take all the precautions. Don't be taking a precaution by jumping on oncoming traffic, right? Like,
Absolutely.
So do you have an issue? So let's just say it seems like it's a mixed message, and it has been right from the get-go, right? So if you have to go out, make sure you're practicing social distancing. So we don't know everybody's situation. Maybe she had to go out. Maybe she was picking up milk for the kids or something like that. What is challenging for me, or what bothers me, is, and what I'd like to see, right, we're a group of people who are responsible individuals, is, and this is going to be different from your opinion and probably yours, let businesses open and just allow us to be responsible, right? We get it. We understand. 6 feet apart, we should run 50-person classes in here. It's probably going to go to 10, right? Your, what do you call the area in a restaurant where you wait to get a table?
Just waiting area.
The waiting area, right? So you're going to have to put stickers down, say your butt goes here and your butt goes there. You might have to pull a few tables out. That's how I see it has to go down. You just can't be, like, I get it, you got to err on the side of caution, but you just can't shut down the world. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. And I always said right from day one, as soon as we got shut down, I said, you either shut down everything or nothing at all, right? And just allow us to practice. Because I put a thing on social media about how liquor stores, is this an essential business? And I got shit on left and right over this. Like,
I saw that.
It was a big deal. Like, I had a lot of people DMing me like hate mail. You know what I mean? So there's certain things that, but at the end of the day, was I wrong? I don't know. I mean, but
you know what? To be honest, like, what I do is maybe not essential. That would be up for discussion for sure. But what you guys do, maybe not essential, but it's essential to some.
Exactly.
And so if it's essential to some, then that's a case for it, right? So
I think the biggest thing I got out of this is how powerful social shaming is.
Oh,
It really is, and it's kind of an unfortunate thing.
that was why I closed March 16th, the day before St. Patrick's Day.
yeah.
And we didn't have to close.
No.
But it was my nightmare. And just thinking, like, if we threw our St. Patrick's Day party, which it's a big deal. Like, it's a week's worth of sales in one day for me. And God forbid somebody got sick there and it was traced back to that.
Yeah.
And that would weigh on me. But also the videos that would have gone across the city and, things like that, the perception of it weighed on me just as much.
Yeah. Oh, the optics are awful.
That's the way we have to live right now. The
Yeah.
optics would have been awful. So we would have, Teresa Tam announced, 50 people that day, like that. 50, so I could have caught a door guy. We would have safely had 50 people in there, had a great time, but it was the 250 people that showed up that I couldn't let in that I was concerned about, and them all like congregating in lineups and stuff like that. It just didn't sit well.
Yeah. So when do you guys think that we're going to be, I feel like restaurants and gyms are at the same level.
Same phase.
Yeah. Where do you guys feel like they're going to start trickling back into the restaurant and into the gym?
End of May, I believe, beginning of June.
Yeah.
And then
Really?
I think best case scenario for the restaurant industry is 50% capacity with social distancing in place. So social distancing will take precedence over 50 people. You need to be able to safely have those people inside.
So you think they're going to jump right to 50? They're not going to do the 10, then the 50, then the 250?
Because at 10 they're not helping anyone. Like restaurant wise anyway.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to be able to have
Well, just like us, we're
tables,
built on volume. I
Yeah.
mean, per session, people are only paying $3 to $7.
Yeah.
Right?
To be honest, even at 50, we're not gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But at least with all the government subsidies, when we see those play out, 50, we can, break even and pay our bills.
Yeah, and that's what this has got to be an understanding, right? Is that everybody's got to make money, but if your people aren't making money, then this has to stretch out, and this is going to stretch out probably 6 to 12 months minimum. Because if it's going to be, hey, we're going to do this a month at a time, they're like, okay, first we're going to try it with 50% capacity, and that's cool, that's a good start. But you need to extend everything, every forgiveness, every little thing that you're doing.
My lease is based on me being busy.
Yeah.
All the time, and I have 165 seats in my restaurant.
Yeah. How big's your location?
We have 164 seats inside and 90
square feet.
Oh, square feet. Yeah. We're just under 4,000 square feet.
So 4,000 square feet. Average rental is around $20 per square foot, plus commons, plus overheads, internets, all this and that. Like, take 4 times by probably 40. Yeah. You're probably around $12,000 minimum.
Yeah, minimum.
And then you got to go with your staff, and then you got to go, and then so if people are ordering, let's say you do $1,000 orders, 30% of that gone to skip. Yep. Right, so so you're looking at $700, right? Like, and then you got to pay your staff, right? And if you want good cooks, like if I want good trainers like Rick, I got to pay the guy. Yep. You know what I mean? Or I ask him, hey Rick, can you work for minimum wage? You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a tough battle. Yeah. And so it's great. So we need to really support businesses, like 100%. If you got it, go out and make it happen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how can we support you? So let's get into your social media. What your Instagram? That's where you're
what's your
doing most of your stuff.
Yeah. Well, the restaurant is at Finn's Grant Park and at Finn's Crossroads.
I love your Instagram. So I don't know, for some reason I started following. I guess because Rick entered the chat. And, it's all about pattern disruption. I see people going in there playing guitar.
Yeah.
And they got
so that stuff's on my personal. So
is that your personal?
Yeah,
okay.
the personal is at JKILG. JKILG.
So people can follow you.
Yeah.
Your life's pretty open.
It's an open profile. Yeah.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
I'm a business owner. That's
your life becomes
absolutely. And it's become a tool that I've needed.
Yeah.
And it's been great. Like I've had lots of calls from CBC called me a little while ago, said they got an email about my social media and wanted to do an interview. It didn't work out because we were busy. I was super busy that day, but it's been amazing. And lots of people have messaged me being like, I'm at home all day and I look forward to watching what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
We've been doing some stuff with charity. We've been doing, I've been taking pictures of all my friends, posting them as they do pickups. It's been great.
Yeah.
So we're going to offer the Fit Club members a discount. We just talked about it. It's going to be
Fit Club members, also followers of the podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that's how it's going to be. So if you mention the podcast,
mention Fit Club podcast.
Yeah. What is the offer?
We'll do 20% off pickup orders.
20% off today only, though.
Yeah.
Today only, Monday.
Yeah.
Get a workout in to earn it. And go to Finn's.
Did you say that your listeners are all over the city? Or are they mostly in this end? Or
you know what? Since we've started this, our reach is 150,000 Winnipeggers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Great.
What's the population of Winnipeg right now?
700-ish.
There you go.
Probably Regent is probably to answer your question. No,
Okay.
I feel like that would be where most of our draw would be, just based on this location.
So Regent's only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So why don't I extend that? We'll do it over the weekend at Regent.
Nice.
So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they can get the
Sure.
Let's just make it Friday, Saturday, because I want to know right away. I want to support you right away. So Friday, Saturday, guys, that's it. Finn's on Regent.
Yeah, and we'll do it. I'll run it at Grant. Sorry to make this confusing, but
no problem.
We'll just, because Regent's only open the weekend, we'll do it Friday, Saturday at both locations.
Perfect.
And we'll track it and let you guys know.
Pick up, and then how do they place an order? What's the phone number?
Phone call. So the phone number at Crossroads is 204-669-9783.
9783.
And then at Grant Park is 204-800-6045.
6045.
We should also extend another challenge. When you get there, get your food, 10 squats.
Yeah.
You video it and put it on there, and then we know it's our people doing it. No messing around. And if they don't do it, if they do it too easy, make them do 10 more.
Yeah.
I'll get a megaphone and pretend I'm you.
Okay.
I'll give you a shirt to wear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know I'll be ordering this weekend.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
And
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
So and then you have a fish and chip special. We'll end it with that fish and chips.
Yeah. All the time right now we're doing family bundles. We're launching a few more today. I don't have all the details on them, but right now the one that's going off like crazy is our fish and chips is honestly some of the best in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing 4 orders of fish and chips for $35.99. That's available anytime for pickup.
That's crazy.
The regular price on that would be $62.
Wow.
So
it's like half off plus another 20% off. You're basically paying nothing.
Yeah, we're just
we're doing squats.
Yeah, and you get a handful of squats.
Exactly. So we're just doing that. It's people are wanting bundles. They're wanting to feed their family. It's our spot predominantly isn't a lot of families eating there, so we wanted to provide value to people that are looking to eat somewhere. So
I love this because a lot of people would look at Finn's. Like honestly, I thought it was just another corporate. I know the guy that owns Moxie's as well, so it's interesting to meet these people. So people see big and they see beautiful, like, you know, how they see Fit Club and they think, well, big corporate, right? These guys are corporate dollars. And then, you know, it's like just regular guys like you and me. We probably crossed paths multiple times.
Of course.
For sure.
And, I
We've,
love that.
we've probably cheersed at a bar top.
Yeah,
once or twice
exactly.
in our previous lives.
Drinking our Smirnoff ices.
With grenadine.
So let me ask you a question. Is it bad that I don't like fish, so I just eat the batter and the fries?
No, not at all.
Oh, that's good.
We've actually got, we developed a menu, a plant-based menu. So I've got vegetarian, I call it fish PHISH, and it's a soy cutlet.
Wow.
And so we
there we go. Vegan options.
Is that the menu right there?
Yeah, I've got takeout menu and regular menu, and
So
quick,
let's go over
the Power Bowl.
Let's go over what are your top 3 we'll say tasty options. What are your top 3 tasty options? Not healthy, just tasty.
Our burgers are fantastic. Straight up burger with cheese and bacon.
Straight up burger, cheese and bacon.
I swear by that burger.
Yeah. What kind of fries do you guys do? The medium, thick, thin?
Yeah, they're medium. Yeah, just medium. They're
okay.
Our fries are good. There's nothing crazy
hand cut?
good about them. No, they're not hand cut. No.
Okay.
We do the burgers are fantastic. The fish and chips are unreal. And then I'm a Reuben guy, and I love our Reuben.
My wife loves
Reubens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reuben. Okay, so that's 2. So you got your burger,
Reuben. I would say
fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what do we got for healthy options here?
Healthy options.
Can I actually just read this for you?
Yeah.
That's good. So he's got a section called Need More Greens where you can add chicken breasts, salmon, vegan grilled chicken breasts, or steak.
Vegan grilled chicken breast?
Yeah, that's the soy protein. It's a Gardine chicken cutlet. So it's a soy-based protein, and that's the one we use in our fish tacos to make them vegan, and our fish and chips to make it vegan.
Nice. Yeah. And then he's got a make it vegetarian section. Sub-protein for a garden vegan grilled chicken breast. So that's what we talked about. Fish and chips, butter curry chicken, waffled up chicken fingers. I have to eat that eventually. Fettuccine Alfredo straight up burger, fish tacos. Those are always a good.
The burger's a Light Life patty, which is a great product. If you haven't had those, I'm not sure how much healthier they are than beef. To be honest, I haven't looked into it, but it's a good meat alternative. And then our Power Bowl is probably one of the best dishes on the menu, and it is very healthy. It's in the salad section there. It's the Finn's Power Bowl.
Okay.
I like the taco option. I mean, you can have a clean taco.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely, and it's delicious.
Fish taco with a little Power Bowl. There's lots of ways to eat healthy on your way out.
With 20% off Friday, Saturday. How can you say no?
Yeah. Don't forget the squats. Mandatory
20%
squats.
plus
squats. All right, guys. So we're going to end the podcast here. Make sure you guys are going to go and support Finn McCool's. Follow him, Jay Kilg, Kilg. Go pick up your food, guys. Let's not be lazy and let's get the dishes. Do it. Go out there, do it. Pick up your squats. Is there anything else you wanted to mention before we end?
Just whether it's Finn's or any other local business, now is when we need to be supporting them. And so I think that it's never been more important. And just be conscious of the choices you're making right now because of how many people it affects.
Awesome. Great words. And if you want to support our podcast, all we ask you to do is share this video to your feed. So, Jay Kilgore, thank you very much. Whoa, wrong one. Thank you very much. Hey, dance it out. Dance it out.
There we go.
We got him. It takes 45 minutes to loosen him up, but we get him.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.